My name's Sam Boone from Signet Breeding Services, and this is a very quick update on some of the trait leaders for Charollais for carcass traits. So this work is doing a better job of predicting carcass traits for Charollais sheep, and because it incorporates the data from our Ram Compare project, the central progeny test, which has had so many Charollais rams featuring in it over the last 8-9 years. So for those that don't know about the progeny test, on Ram Compare we take semen, we take rams from natural mating, we quarantine them, and then we use them on commercial flocks, so collecting data at lambing time through to 8 weeks, ultrasound scanning, just as you would in pedigree performance recorded Charollais ram breeding flocks, but we also have the abattoir data. We can then produce estimated breeding values for all of those traits and generate breeding indexes so that we can identify the most profitable Charollais rams for use as terminal sires. And those breeding values are published on the Signet website. So 2 quite exciting things have happened this year for the first time. One of those is that we've actually incorporated abattoir traits fully into our genetic evaluation. So we know information about growth rate and muscling that's measured on farm. We know about performance through the CT scanner, and we can now fit the genetic relationships between those traits and the traits that are expressed at the abattoir. So doing a much better job to produce breeding values for abattoir traits, and hence if you go onto the Signet website, you can see breeding values for the on-farm traits, the CT traits, and now to quite a high degree of accuracy, you can see breeding values for the abattoir traits as well: days to slaughter, carcass weight, conformation, and fat class. The other exciting thing that we've been able to do is to incorporate genomic information into our genetic evaluations. So getting those animals that are extremely well measured, that we know a lot about in terms of their breeding potential, then having a look at their genomes, the DNA structure itself for those animals, building that into our genetic evaluations. That's not only enhanced their genetic evaluations, but it also means that when we get data coming through from the Charollais Sheep Society, because this is very much a collaboration with the society, that DNA information means that we can start making predictions on animals that we know less about in the less well performance recorded flocks. So genomic information, really important in the work that we do. When it comes to talking about the results, we can talk about where Charollais sit relative to animals of different breeds that were on test in any given year or season, and there's lots of information about that. But really the important thing is, if you know that you're going to be using a Charollais, what's the best Charollais that you can purchase for your flock? And because we're working with the Charollais Sheep Society, we're exchanging genomic information, we're exchanging pedigree and performance data, we can now produce rankings of the leading Charollais for days to slaughter, carcass weight, and conformation right across the Charollais breed to help both breeders and Charollais ram buyers. So, very quick update, and of course the challenge with this work is we're redoing the results every month. So these were the results that we produced at the end of March, but as more lambs come along, then you'll see more sires featuring in the rankings. But these are the top sires that have produced lambs over the last 2 seasons, so a little aggregated subset. So at the top of the list you've got a Dalby ram there. Now obviously he's a relatively young animal without progeny himself on Ram Compare, but his sire and his maternal grandsire were both sires that we had a lot of information about abattoir traits. You've got other rams in here with really high growth rates, and again we know those genetics are going to lead to really good breeding values for days to slaughter. So negative EBVs means less days taken to reach slaughter, faster finishing. So that's days to slaughter. If we look at carcass weights, then we've got Forroy's Benjamin at the top. Now he's our reference ram that we've used across 4 flocks this year via AI, and on every occasion he's absolutely thumped rams of various different breeds on those farms, done a really good job, and hence he's sitting at the top of the table for carcass weight. But you've got other really well-known rams there. Wellhard used a couple of seasons ago, another ram with really good carcass weight due to genes for growth, genes for muscling and muscle yield. And finally, carcass conformation. So again, a ram that we tested on the project a couple of years ago, Troubadour, did a really good job up there, sitting at the top. But you've got a number of rams here that have got really good genetic potential in terms of muscling, and that's what has them sitting high in the overall rankings for carcass conformation. So this is very much a snapshot of some of the leading Charollais at any given moment in time, but do head to the Signet website for a fuller picture of the information that's available. If you want more information, either head to the AHDB website or the Signet website, where a number of publications can be found. And you can head to Flock Finder if you want to find someone with a performance recorded flock located close to you. Thank you.